Never a dull moment when it comes to the Kentucky Derby. This morning, as everyone was going about their business, news broke. Trainer press conference. Bob Baffert had some news to share. Hoppertunity out of the Kentucky Derby. He was the second choice on the morning line, the Rebel Stakes winner, trained by the Hall of Fame conditioner, developed a foot issue, will be sent to Wood & Riddle for further evaluation. They hope it isn't too serious, think they can make the Preakness, but it's going to take a couple of days to figure that out.
Well, yesterday we noticed he was a little bit, when he came out of the stall, he was on his left front foot. He was a little bit, just a little bit off, and then he warmed up out of it. And then later on in the afternoon, we schooled him, checked him in the afternoon. It was okay. We actually three-quartered the shoe because the inside quarter was a little bit sore. So it probably came up from the work on the wet track. And today, same thing. He just came out and he was just a little, it was biting him a little bit. And then as he walked, then he was warming out of it. So I called Dr. Bramlich over. He happened to be here, and my other vet, and we looked at him and I explained to him. And I just didn't really feel good about it. So he said, well, you know, let's just take him. I want to get him scanned, make sure it's a foot. He didn't palpate sore to the foot, ankles, knees, and so it's so for our own to feel good about it, so we can go on to the Preakness. We're going to send him tomorrow. He'll be scanned, and then to make sure that it is a foot, and so then that way we can go on with him comfortably, not worrying about it. Maybe it was something else that was making him that way. So we're just being cautious, and if he wasn't 100% today, he can't run, you know. So you know, he might be fine tomorrow, but I just didn't want to. I pulled the plug early. I didn't feel good about it, so he's out.
At least you still have Cheetu.
We have Cheetu, so you know, he'll take him as far as he can. He's fast, and Martin says he's going to win it, so he feels good about it. So, but yeah, it's tough business. But the horse is not. It's different, you know. You scratch, you know, a couple of days before a big race. You know, usually it's sometimes career ending or whatever. But it's a foot that I need more time with, so it's just not gonna. Just didn't, you know, everything's got to go great. You cannot have one hiccup if you're going to win the Derby. So, you know, I wouldn't feel comfortable, and he wouldn't, you know, they have to be 100% for me to send him out there.
Pablo Del Monte, who was the horse on the also eligible list, number 21, entered in the Derby, goes into the field if his connections decide to run. He would start from post 20 in the Derby field since the post positions were already drawn yesterday. And trainer Wesley Ward saying he's going to check up with the connections.
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't really think I'd be having to make this decision, but it's a good decision. I'm sure 10,000 plus horsemen in the world would want to have. You know, breaking from post 20 is going to be very difficult, but you know, having had this horse born and raised on my ranch, and I was the one that broke him. I was the one on top of him. And taking him all the way to this point, there's nothing more than it would be the greatest honor of my life to have a horse in the Kentucky Derby that I've bred and raised, especially this way. But I've got to have a conversation with the horse's namesake, Paul Shanahan. That's Nick Paul. And just make sure it's okay with Mr. Smith, Mr. Caver, and Mr. Magner, that with your Paul's bosses, just make sure that it's okay with them. So I thought I'd give it about an hour for the dust to settle and give them a call.
We're filming out here this morning, but if you go to bloodhorse.com, follow on Twitter at bloodhorse or at BH_C Novak, we'll keep you updated on what the connections decide, whether he's in or not. Pablo Del Monte, a son of Giants Causeway, ran third in the Bluegrass Stakes, also ran in the Hutchison on dirt, so he does have that previous dirt form, and ran in the Gulfstream Park Derby down in Florida earlier this season. We'll give you all the latest as soon as we hear at bloodhorse.com.